Last week, right before the holiday, Chief Twit Elon Musk had called for the elimination of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the agency that has helped millions of people fight back against companies that tried to rip you off. Last Wednesday, Musk wrote this, quote, delete CFPB, while calling the Federal Reserve funded agency an example of, quote, too many duplicative regulatory agencies in the federal government. Ah, right. I mean, going after the only agency that's actually focused on consumer protection. None of the overlapping financial watchdogs at the time were focused on consumer protection. Remember, we've only had it since 2010. Okay. And look, the reason it was created in the first place is because people were getting constantly ripped off by big companies. That said, no one hates consumer protection more than the very CEOs that want to rip you off. In case you were not aware, here's how effective the agency has been at protecting consumers. Since its creation, the CFPB has returned over $17.5 billion to consumers in the form of canceled debt, principal reductions, and other consumer relief. They've also imposed over $4 billion in civil money penalties on companies and individuals that violate the law. The CFPB's Victim Relief Fund has distributed over $1 billion to consumers harmed by scams, frauds, and other illegal practices. They've also taken action against big companies for illegal practices. For example, ordering Citibank to pay $25.9 million in fines and consumer redress for intentionally discriminating against Armenian American credit card applicants. Yes, they literally were targeting Armenian Americans. Insanity. And under President Joe Biden, CFPB Director Rohit Chopra has issued rules that would require banks to give consumers their financial data free of charge. Something they would charge you beforehand, which seems insane. Shielding consumers from medical debt and limiting overdraft fees. They're going after junk fees. Okay, so understand that this is the agency that Elon Musk wants to get rid of, likely because he wants himself and his allies to begin robbing us again. These were a problem before. That's why the agency exists in the first place. Okay. Last week, the agency finalized a rule to scrutinize tech companies dealing with digital currency. This is something that Elon Musk has become very, very interested in. A lot of these, by the way, Silicon Valley tech bros, very interested in the cryptos. Okay. So, there's a lot of, and Donald Trump also very, very interested in crypto. Seems like a lot of ways to try to screw people out of money. Okay. Now, Robert Wiseman, a co-president of consumer advocacy group Public Citizen, said this in a statement, quote, there's no reason to think facts or evidence have anything to do with Musk's views. Asking the world's richest person with a direct interest in a wide range of business lines to run a project to review the federal government's overall operations is absurd and fundamentally corrupt, and this issue highlights exactly why. Remember, Musk is there to run the Department of Government Efficiency, which it's shortened to DOGE, like the little dog. It's not going to be a real agency, so it can make recommendations of what to cut. And of course, what they're mostly going to try to focus on cutting is things that actually would help average people. Okay. Whether it be, these agencies that do regulation to protect consumers or agencies that do regulation to protect workers, some of the things that Musk and his companies have kind of run afoul of, especially when it comes to worker safety. So that's obviously going to be on the chopping block, right? And that's what he's going to tell Republicans you need to get rid of. And Republicans, of course, they're going to be like, absolutely, we work for the same paymasters that you do. Elon Musk, chief paymaster, okay, because he's the richest man in the world. So That's the thing, though. Musk is taking his advice from other wealthy members of Trump's circle. For example, venture capitalist Mark Andreessen, who earlier this week accused of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau of, quote unquote, terrorizing financial institutions. Yeah, terrorizing them by, putting rules in place where it says you can't screw over your customers. I suppose to them, that's terrifying. Oh, hey, by the way, you can't, knowingly screw over your customers, your customer base for additional profit. And they're like, oh, no. Are you kidding me? No, that's terrifying. I have to not steal from people? How will I ever run a business or turn a profit if I have to be honest? Can't do it. Nope, not going to happen. And unfortunately, with Trump,
can't let that happen.
They're not going to be required to be honest anymore, because things like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, if it's still there, are going to be massively defanged. Okay, so now it is important to note that Andreessen's firm has supported a number of technology companies that have run afoul of the CFPB. Shocker. Including LendUp Loans, which the agency had shuttered in 2021 on the grounds that it misled customers about its loan policy and overcharged military service members that support the troops. Nah, how about we overcharge them? Yeah, okay. Now, here's the thing. In response to this oversight, a lot of companies have sued the agency and complained that it's exceeded its legal authority. And this is the argument that Andreessen is using when he says, well, they're terrorizing us. Ah, right, sure. Look, this is nothing more than these large companies whispering in Musk's ear in order to have him whisper into Trump's ear to have them get rid of the only watchdog agency that actually defends consumers. Yeah, and even if they don't get rid of it outright, Donald Trump can still do a lot of damage to it. Donald Trump and Republicans, in fact, many of his top aides are looking for candidates to lead the agency that would rescind recent rules, cancel investigations, and soften enforcement. Unless, of course, it's their the woke corporations, right? That's going to be one of their targets, which is why you've seen a lot of these so-called woke corporations roll back on DEI initiatives and things like that. Because oh no, don't come after us. We're not woke. Sure. It's all about profits for them. Now, here's the thing. Basically, the new CFPB under Trump is going to kind of look like the old one, right? Remember, under then interim director Mick Mulvaney, the CFPB had struck down rules targeting payday lenders, basically deregulating them, canceling a number of lawsuits, and requesting a budget of $0, meaning they couldn't do their job. And that's by design. They don't want to do their job. Look, the overall goal here is to allow the ramping up of the robbery of the American people, the average worker, the average consumer. That's it. And so, look, unfortunately, the American people handed a lot of very, very rich, unscrupulous people unprecedented power. And if you believe, like some of them do, like many of them do, hey, no, this is going to help the average guy. It's going to help me afford the price of eggs. I got real bad news for you. It ain't. Better buckle up, because we're in for a real rough time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.